Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gears Esports. I hope I got that out before the mics came back live because I was trying to hold it back, boy. But you know how sometimes you eat a little bit too spicy food, you get that heartburn down there, boy. I'm also old, all right? Things get a little weird for me when I start to eat late in the day. I start to get that heartburn. I start to feel it bad in my chest. But I tell you right now, something that doesn't make me feel so bad in my chest is how good Team Queso has played as of late. And they are about to go against a very gamey Elevate squad who we just saw lose on a map 3. So this should be a really tightly contested matchup.
Yep. And honestly, you got to think Elevate, there was a lot of glaring mistakes, errors. They played very separated, and it started from the early portions of each and every round. They let Noble take every positioning they wanted, and they let them back out with the weapons. They didn't really cost them in the end. And like you said, Team Queso has been playing on fire recently, really aggressive, in-your-face action. And I know I got to see the picks and bans, and we're going to have a player to watch here, but there's really a lot of great things going on the side of Team Queso that we're going to talk about here in a moment.
Well, the player to watch is indeed that man with a plan from Elevate, DeToX. He is now the longest-standing, most veteran member of our esport on this squad. He dates all the way back to the Maybach machine in Gears 3, making his standout performances there. And then, of course, progressing into UE with that Vex squad. So we see here, I think, once again, earlier we got to see Abalik's 4th overall in percentage of team kills. Now we go to DeToX, 2nd overall in the entire league. LIG at this point. He's 2nd in the league in percentage of team kills thanks to that man on your screen.
He's letting everybody know I'm Eucaligma. But that, to me, that doesn't really tell too much. That goes on. Percentage of the team kills, 35.91%. And to me, that shows that the change really has affected the gameplay that does go on from DeToX. He's been a Super Slayer before, but he hasn't really have been forced to feel that pressure. You give him the power weapons, you let him kind of sit back, take control of those games, and if he's the front spawn, he can do just that. But I think since these changes went through, the refresh of this roster, really trying to find themselves, he's been putting himself at the front of a lot of these pushes. He's been putting a lot of that pressure on his own shoulders when it comes to being that main Slayer, and you see it in the stat line. But overall, it comes down to a full team game to come through. So that's why I do want to see the picks and bans go down, because I think that says a lot of what we're going to see here today, especially if we see a lot of repeat maps from that series they played before.
Well, we'll see the map cycle here in just a moment as it comes up on your screen. Asylum, Exhibit, and then the tiebreaker ends up being District. So Elevate goes right back to Asylum. They just lose it to Noble. And I guess they look at Queso as not a big of a threat to them as Noble, as they said, hey, look, we just lost. Let's go right back to it. Let's see if we can get that static going. And I want to go ahead and point out PR because I know we're going to start on Asylum, so I want to talk about that a little bit further. Do you think that kind of bodes well for them? Because we know going into that second half, the way that DeToX was having to be pushed up into that mid-neutral fight, trying to fight over that torque bow, he now has kind of a counterpart, a mirror image, because we know that Pell is going to be right there with him, trying to match him kill for kill, blow for blow, pound for pound. So do you see this kind of coming out differently?
I think it has the potential to come out and play a little bit differently because Elevate just lost it. And this is a map where you go right back in, you have a chance to really figure out what you did wrong and fix it right away. And you can kind of see it. They were a little bit slow on these initials. They let Noble take control. So I'm going to be looking at a team like Team Queso that does play aggressive. I'm going to be looking at Elevate to figure out, are we going to bait these players in, try to get some downs, or are we going to play fast? Are we going to play hot, get the positioning, and make them fight for it at the end of the day? It's really going to be a tough map for Elevate to really bounce back, figuring out and make those adjustments. But Team Queso coming in fresh, coming in hot. They also have the potential to make some mistakes, but I don't think they're worrying about mistakes they already made because they didn't really play a match.
So they didn't really play a match. They did really play a match. They probably have been practicing as much as they can get ready for this because, again, Team Queso has been playing fantastically as of late. They've been one of the hottest teams on the planet. We saw them last night come within, I believe it was just a singular round of beating the Pittsburgh Knights. So they come out tonight against Elevate, and I'm going to give you my prediction. Look.
What you got for me?
Tonight, I'm going with my gut. The cheese has come to please. Queso will shove it in your face, so if you don't believe in him, it is going to be Team Queso over Elevate. I don't believe it's going to come easy. I don't believe it's going to be a smooth walk in the park. This is going to be a war at the shore. I believe Elevate is going to give them a much better punch, but if there's one man that I have a lot of faith in lately, it is going to be that boy Scavzy. He has been on a tear, and let us not forget that madman, that mean mugging man in his profile picture is Cellz. He's been on a tear himself. They've got two of the hottest players on the planet, and of course, they're getting backed up by guys like Yachty and Pell. This is going to be a showcase for them going into the weekend. They need to make a statement here.
Yeah, I think all of these players, all 8 of them, you can even throw in 10 if you count the coaches on the backside. They have something to prove here. They're not fighting for first anymore, but you're fighting for momentum. You're fighting for the last laugh. You know you don't have to fight relegation. You're kind of fighting for that seeding, but, you know, seeing how things are, it might already be set in stone. But Elevate, they have been good, but they haven't been good as Team Queso has been lately. Just like I'm going to have pizza for dinner. You can't do that without cheese. I think they're going to take this series, but just like you said, I don't think it's going to come easy, but it's all about what have you done for me lately, and Team Queso has done wonders.
All right, so you and I are together on Team Queso, and before we see what chat predicted, I just want to throw it out there. Taylor Reflections Noble has picked Elevate. So Team Queso, if you want to not only show him that he should have picked y'all, but you also want to knock him out of first, go ahead and win this one. I don't care who chat votes for at this point. I'm pretty sure it was Elevated. Let me see that red. Oh, no, they went Queso. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
We needed that. We definitely. So it's like all or nothing for Taylor and us. And if Taylor wins this, I'm going to meet you in the back alley, brother.
Oh, my God. It is going to be the fight. It's going to be a David and Goliath because, I mean, he's 6'10". You're 6'10", and you're 12'2". It's going to be crazy.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I was expecting something else. I was expecting a little salt on the wound, but you're right. I am 12'2". I am the tallest man in esports, the most electrifying man as well. But Team Queso versus Elevate. Talk about controlling your own destiny. Team Queso is controlling mine. I don't have a say in it, so hopefully you guys make me proud here.
Here we go into the first round. It'll be Pell trying to pressure up on a Demise, but the down comes through. Yachty's going to be there in the area, and it looks like Queso actually sent 3 players to B, like straight through the tracks. I mean, immediately down there to try to take over control of the B. Now they're going to slowly play back toward their home. This is a dangerous spot, though, because Asylum, kind of like second half Foundation, is very easy to Lancer out on, very easy to damage opponents as they try to come into the fight. Scavzy's trying to poke into this fight. He's trying to get up into the area. He's got some shots on a Titan. Titan's going to have to go back toward the top side of the map. Now they get the mark out on Vino. Vino over the top. Will meet and get traded out with 1. That is a good kill for the side of Elevate because that'll keep them in this in a 3v3. And there's nowhere really that Queso can overwhelm the forces of Elevate.
No way possible. Scavzy, a player you talked about time and time again, being pushed all the way back. He has some damage on him, but Tidy feeling himself. Goes in for the elimination, gets taken out for him. I like what Scavzy did. Don't lead him to be a thorn in the side to get that decap, but towards the track, Yachty gets taken out. Pell doing what he can. He falls as well. Elevate picking up a massive double kill, able to hold on to these 2 hills, but a player going down in the middle is going to open up some opportunities for the rest of Team Queso. You see them taking the positioning, which is huge, while simultaneously getting the decap. You see the train coming through, creating some separation, and that's going to be a big key for separation because if they hop in through the middle, they could try to counteract the 3v2 on towards the home hill, but Scavzy sneaks by the train, puts some damage so Yachty can finish off that kill.
Flash out. Pell's going to be hit a little bit. Demise tries to push up and get that second shot to be a down, but he's going to go out himself. DeToX now is on the wrong side of the tracks. He's going to get lancered out. It's going to be 1 player trying to play back toward his spawn. So now 2 in the area. A decap comes through. I don't know if you stay here, Pell. You're within arm's reach of the points. You've got a little bit of help with Yachty, but if you get re-wiped, you lose this advantage. You lose the ability to stay in this fight. You see the Lancer fire coming from the tracks, though. They're helping each other out. They're Team Fire and Team Queso. They're off to the races, baby. They're up 1-0.
And I know it's Team Queso on one side, but Elevate looking like Swiss cheese, the amount of holes they had in them right there. And Team Queso firing off, answering back time and time again. And you saw Tidy at one point or another. He was getting over aggressive at the top half of the map by himself. It cost him in the end, and Team Queso took advantage. I talked about their aggression, and that is going to be a real strength, a real key to victory if they're looking to close out this series. They can't get passive. They can't begin to slow down, because once that happens, a team like Elevate, they have a little bit more of a balance between their two play styles. They will take advantage.
So what we'll see is the DeToX come out. Queso actually already sending 3 players down low again. If this gets caught, never mind. There goes. Scavzy's going to peel back toward the middle of the map. It's going to be a straight 2v2 down here. And we've already seen how dangerous DeToX is at the bottom of this map, where he's able to use that DeToX to take somebody's head off early in these engagements. Settling down, Scavzy's going to rotate across the bottom of the map. He's going to get Lancered out just a little bit. He might go for a full flank here. Tidy has to be concerned about him coming from behind. Shots over the top, gets the down, and now Vino's going to be off to the races, back underneath the overpass. Back A onto Scavzy, will have him full red. The Wrap tries to come through. A lot of damage being traded out, but not enough to get the down on Vino, so the trade kills come through. It's 3v3 effective on the map. Cellz is going to move into that area where the home hill is, but he's going to be hit with a brick, and Cellz baits him! Cellz baits him! That's a huge up bait to get that kill, but it will help them manufacture a little bit of a lead here at B. DeToX has to worry about it, because here comes player 4, Scavzy, already back into the fight. DeToX has to worry about the Lancer from up top and possibly getting angled out down here at the bottom. DeToX was out, but it wasn't enough. Now they're double Lancering, triple Lancering from up top as well. A lot of damage being put forward. Queso still in the lead, still with 2-1 hills, and a lot of downs coming through for him as well. They just can't finish anybody off.
Yep, using one down to get Demise out. He tried to make a play to save and buy some time for Elevate, but it just wasn't enough. Blast toward the backside. DeToX gets taken out next. 2 players quickly falling. Team Queso already have 2 hills as well. They can push forward. They can aggressively set up and try to go for the triple cap, or they can fall back like you see here. They're trying to defensively setting up their lead. There's more of this game left to watch. Elevate, they're going to have another opportunity in here to answer back, but it's going to slow down for just a moment. Not for too long, but for just long enough for these players to get the information necessary, figure out where Team Queso is setting up, and push where they want. I think a big portion of this push late in the game for Elevate is going to come through the center of the map.
I actually would have loved to see DeToX take that DeToX through the middle of the map to try to get those shots on. Tidy's going to try to get this kill over the top, and he's going to pick him off. Now it's 4v3 solidified on the map. If I'm the 2 players of Queso up top, I'm pressuring up onto Vino. I'm trying to make his life very uncomfortable in this home hill, trying to get this decap on A. Hits the back A onto Cellz. Still not down. Pell cannot hit one more shot. Vino stays alive and gets a double kill to his name. Queso's going to have to come off of respawn to fight back against the Tide. They get the shock, or the stun out, excuse me, onto Demise. They get a bunch of shots onto him, but Tidy's there for the back A. Tidy trying to slide across that cover to get another one. Cellz walks straight in and shuts one down. They need to move into this fight. They cannot get caught out outside and get Lancer down just like they did last round. Trades continuously coming through, but Cellz will finally shut it down. Crossing the 200-point threshold is going to be Elevate. They don't have time for this. They need to cap up the hill and get across the map very quickly. You see Scavzy already trying to move down here. He's going to be DeToX once. The second shot misses. They're going to have to get this decap very quickly, and they're going to have to get a retake, as a matter of fact, because they have now the lead in favor of Elevate. The quick kill out of Scavzy. They are in the B hill, but the train kills Pell! Train kills Pell! Now they don't have the man advantage. It's all over. Elevate's going to tie this bad boy up at 1-1 PR.
Yeah, that's what I was saying right there. Cellz, he made the decision to cap the hill, but even if you get the cap, you see you're still behind. Elevate still has 2 hills. They're still racking up double points. So with those eliminations, you should have pressed forward. You should have at least tried to get the decap, and then you worry about how you're going to get the points from there, because you know the capture's not going to come easy. But Elevate, figure out a way to answer and fire back. And we talked about this one is not going to be easy for either one of these teams, and you see the strategy Elevate had last map going into this one. They're not going ahead and upgrading a retro right away. They want to spread that utility. They want to spread the weapons out so that way everybody has a chance to use them.
So PR, one of the things I want to ask you, you go all the way back in that round, but when it kind of shifted, it's where Tidy got the kill over that picnic bench in the middle of the map down there by the tombstone. If you are on the side of Queso, do you call out that he's pushed up to that bench and just say, hey, back off, we'll Lancer him out, we'll let them play to us, we've got a point lead, we've got to set up, we don't have to take this fight CQC.
Yeah, I think that definitely would have been the call there in that situation, because you need to make sure you just keep racking up the points. That's all you really have to do is try to come back. But Tidy, using his utility early, trying to extend towards the top path, concedes it over to Cellz, and we know what Cellz does with a lot of opportunity. Flash grenade from Vino, trying to make something happen, but big crossfire coming down. I talked about that positioning from Cellz, and immediately he puts it to use, getting that down. Now the man advantage going over, but Elevate doesn't care. They know the train's going to create some separation. They try to go in, one down coming through from Demise, but they're going to push forward with some refreshed health to pick up those eliminations. Pell gets one, but DeToX gets the last laugh, getting that elimination. Scavzy looking like he was going to make a rotation there for a moment, but as those eliminations came over, he realized the position his teammate was in, but he actually gets picked off on the rotation. That makes it a little bit easier for Elevate to come back.
Cellz is going to have to worry about 3 different players right now. He's going to try to pick anybody off that he can, but he's going to go down to Tidy very quickly. 2 players dead for Queso. Elevate is in a perfect position to really try to get these shots on and get the downs and damage early. You see Queso having to come all the way back off a spawn. They got to wait for the last player, I believe it's Cellz, to come back in his position. Pushing into this fight now. Train will come through on the backside. They now have 45 seconds until the next one. You got to make a move quicker than that to try to not get blocked out by the double train as it's front-back double. See Pell trying to push up to that back cover. This is where the tides turned last time in favor of Elevate. Let's see if Team Queso can have the same fortunes and if fortune will favor the bold. But you see Elevate calling for the defensive stand. They're pulling back. Double downs come through though. They're over-shifting. They're over-rotating on the map, trying to go home to home at this point. And you see if I am Queso, call that out. Get somebody into the top position. Get somebody across the top of the blocks. Pressure up onto player number 7. Force Demise out. You see Vino getting a little red, and there you go. It's almost like they're listening. It's almost like I'm in the comms, my man.
And Pell 400 IQ right now. Instead of going for the decap and trying to go for the capture, he went ahead, overextended towards the top half, and made sure to solidify the positioning and the fight, backtracking with all the confidence. I don't know how much help he had, but solidifying those 2 kills for Team Queso is definitely going to be a momentum shifter. 2-1 on the board, but back and forth action. Do you think there's any one thing these teams could do to pull ahead, or do you think it comes down to just that initial fight?
I think a lot of it comes to the initial fight, but I think the thing that we've seen time and time again that has given Team Queso the edge is that on the side of Elevate, one person gets a little greedy. Vino in that round got greedy, and in round number 1, it was Demise that got a little greedy. He got overzealous, pushed too far on the train tracks, got down, got put out, which gave them the 2-1 hill advantage, which gave them the ability to kind of play the rest of the round a little bit more aggressive. I need to see Elevate try to rein in the troops. They've got to play discipline, not over-aggressive. When you play over-aggressive, you're not disciplined, you make dumb mistakes, you make bad moves, and you find yourself down and dead before you know it. Multiple players from Queso into the hill to go for the cap. Pell was full red, almost went down, but won't be taken out this time, and it'll be up to Elevate to make a return play. Boltok shot by Pell. We'll check one player in the body. Flashes out by both teams. Here comes the retake. Oh, what a... Yo!
Oh, the smoke. That you don't see everywhere. Another elimination coming through. Cellz is handling a 2v1 right now. He bought his team as much time as possible. I was looking at the mini-map the whole time, able to get back towards the home mill. Decap's going to come through regardless for Elevate. Nobody overextending for Team Queso. So it does look like they want to backtrack. They want to solidify their own mill before they push forward. And just like that, not even waiting for Cellz to come off respawn, Scavzy, Yachty, and Pell working together to get those 2 crucial eliminations while maintaining that neutral. That's going to make it much easier for them to come off of respawn, figure out where the next elimination is, and find it. Demise goes down just as those 2 players go off of respawn, which staggers out the death, staggers out the opportunity for them to advance. They get another one on a DeToX. Elevate needs to figure out a way to stop the bleeding, and oh my god, they get another down. This one is not looking good for Elevate. It's looking like another round for Team Queso. 3-1 is in the books, and they are looking like they're taking off.
Demise right there fell to what I like to call the Jacob MVPR play. For all of you at home, the reason I call it that is I've played a lot of games with this man. I've been on his team a lot of times, and every time PR has the ability to call one player out, stagger those spawns a little bit further. If he knows that we're pretty much safe to be a little over aggressive, PR would have been that Benjamin Carmine right there. He'd have had Yachty out. He'd have been playing just outside of chunk range. He just said, I know my boys have got my back with the Lancer. That's a free kill for them. They swarm Demise in that corner. They get him killed off. That's just yet another death staggered on the side of Elevate, which makes them either have to A, wait longer for a retake because they don't have full forces back off the spawn, or B, continue to lose players and get triple cap dominated. It's a beautiful thing to see when it comes to fruition.
Now, See the final score in the half, 3-1. As this one continues, Hills will switch. That up top fight's going to be so much more important. I do believe Elevate at least believes they're much better at that fight. Last second shot going through. It has to have hit something. That had to have hit something on the side of Team Queso, to where they're just unable to push forward. That shock not working on their side. Late flash though from Cellz. They're able to get in, get some positioning, forcing these players back, which is huge. But some downs coming through. Pell gets down once. He gets down three times instantly to get taken out. Doesn't matter how many revives you got. They're going to be there in the end. Now Elevate pushing up with the man advantage. Gets the down onto Cellz. Yachty goes down next. So a great retake to eliminate all three members. Scavzy's using the distraction of the chain to try to draw up this 1v1. But as it dissipates, he's going to start taking that fire, and he'll be the fourth member from Team Queso to get taken out.
Queso has to get off a spawn and try to play a little defense here. You see Elevate mounted up. There's the mark out on DePel. They've got DeToX shots onto him, and this is a very dangerous position. As you can see, the angles that Elevate can come away with. The smoke out from Yachty, trying to stop them from getting those easy Lancer angles. Triple cap domination threat for just a moment. Tidy continuing to back up, but look at the angle that Vino has. There's nowhere to go. This is a firing squad right now. This is on a firing range. They're just putting rounds down range, and now Elevate will find themselves on the uptick as they get that belt under their rounds, and that's going to be a 3-2 count. And right now, I think if you're Team Queso, I'm not but too upset about that round. A very mishapped shock grenade really put them on the back foot.
Yeah, you got to know that early blunder really set the tide. It really gave up a lot of space. It gave up a lot of aggression opportunity for Elevate, and you kind of see what happens when you open up the window, you leave your pie on there. Somebody's going to sneak by and definitely steal that one out through, as Elevate just did. And I really thought, because of Elevate's ability to take control of that early portion of E, they were able to get an entrance early on. I thought that big weapon would go down because they have some coming back to do, but they have the advantage in terms of they have the momentum on their side. I don't think now's the time for Elevate. You fight back one more round. If you lose it, you're on map point. That's when you can put that big weapon.
Now Retro's out, Shock's out for both squads. Cellz trying to Lancer out, down on Scavzy at the bottom of the map. Was that Tidy with a Retro that just instantaneously downed him? Because that makes it 4-3, and now you've got to find a way to stop them from getting everywhere and anywhere all at once. Pell's going to try to take a seat in this cubby corner, but I mean, it's tough sledding. He's stuck here by himself. He doesn't have much place to go.
I was to say, where's his help? They did get it down. Cellz tries to go in. Demise with a big flank to take out Pell as well. 3 players dead. Scavzy's all by his lonesome. Some reinforcements are coming for Elevate. Big Retro shots, but that's going to be a nice trade. Can anybody capitalize on that? I don't think so. Yachty's death was staggered almost No, I talked too soon. Yachty gets 2. They get 3. Team Queso is still alive, and that is why you don't call the action early. Call it. They want to go on map point. They want to solidify this round.
Here we go. Pell up top. He's going to have a teammate with him. That's going to be Cellz lancering out. They're going to be able to come back into this, but it's going to take a while. They're going to have to hold on to this for a long time. A lot of Lancer damage has been put out. Flashes out. Here comes the utility from Elevate. Vino will be in that cubby corner. Pell's going to be stunned out a little bit more as they throw that third final utility. Vino dancing around, staying alive in this situation is very impressive to me. The reflashes come back. They're trying to get stuns. Tidy will be stunned out. Full shot on there. Full spreads by Pell. Get the downs and dead. It's up to Scavzy to help stay alive against Demise down here. Full red. If he goes down, that could give them a way to get that decap and at least come back in the points. I don't know if you go with the triple cap domination right now just yet.
I mean, if you keep finding these eliminations, you have the confidence on your side. You can do whatever you want. Hero plays coming out from Yachty to save the round. I thought it was lights out. I thought it was over. I thought we were going to have a tie game, and we got a big replay. There goes 1. There goes 2. And the damage onto the meat shield, that was really the difference from him and Cellz working together. That is 3 in the books. It's hard to bet against Team Queso right now. You basically call them melted cheese because they're on fire.
Without a doubt, my favorite part of that entire replay, as nice as the up A was, as nice as the backslide was to get that second shot, right there against that meat shield, when he knew he had a teammate coming off a spawn, he just hit him with the wiggle, 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 wiggle. And he just said, you can't touch me, baby. You can't. I'm going to be in this corner. I'm going to be in this corner, and ain't a thing you can do about it.
Alrighty, you can see the difference in strategy. One team preferring those instants, while Team Queso wants that retro every 60 seconds, which goes to show Elevate, if they're going to come back, will have to be the team to put something down towards the center portion of the map. Demise going in for the early capture on the hill. Going to cost him his life, and not able to get the capture as well. Once that elimination comes through, you're going to see the shock disappear. It's going to be the opportunity for Team Queso to try to push up. Tidy goes down on the bottom part of the map. They actually did a different strategy. Team Queso did a 2-2, and they won both sides. Is this the map, Colin? With everybody dead, there will be no answer back from Elevate. 5-2, they close out map number 1.
Right there, that JD was hitting him with one of his special emotes. It's one of the ones that JD can use. You hit the salute, but he actually says for the cog. And I think instead that JD said for Jacob and Colin, because we're up 1-0 in the predictions right now. We're hoping they can close this thing out and try to get a leg up on Taylor Reflections Noble. That was a beautiful map number 1 and picture perfect teamwork all map 1 as well. They get the victory over Elevate, and I think the biggest takeaways for me in that entire map number 1 PR was the ability by Team Queso to be able to play around one another. You saw Elevate playing with one another. I think Team Queso did a better job of playing around one another. It's understanding their spatial awareness, seeing, hey, look, he's got a shotgun, I need a snub, or he's got a shotgun, I need a lancer. Playing complementary roles, if you will.
And you can see in Team Queso, yeah, there were some moments where they were setting up, but it came through with a lot of aggression. They were able to figure out which inches they can take, and they went ahead and just snatched them away. And that's exactly what you got to do when you're controlling your own destiny or trying to do everything that you can. You figure out what your strength is, and you strategically figure out how to play in it time and time again. It didn't matter if Team Queso was behind in rounds or ahead. They figure out a way to close out the rounds in the end. You see replays time and time again. Pell making some big plays. Scavzy and Yachty. Everybody on Team Queso, including Cellz, did their part. And you see the result.
So here's a question I got for you. A little jokey question. Maybe it'll make you laugh. Maybe you won't. But who should be feared more, PR? Hoodie Solars or Hoodie Pell?
Probably Hoodie Solars. I don't want to say anything against Pell, but Solars accolades, championships, his deep pockets with his prize money says enough for himself.
All I can remember is those old United days when Pell had the hoodie like zipped to like.
Pell was a man. I'm telling you.
Mans could literally only see his monitor.
This replay will get me time and time again. And that's what you got to do. Once you take out all strategy, realizing, hey, I just got to get some kills. I just got to get some trades. Yachty just goes in, spams his A button, spams his RT almost all at the same time. And then he does that picture. He's telling them, say cheese. You guys are caught in 4K, taking the L. Map number 1, 5-2 on Asylum. Map number 2, Exhibit. I got to go ahead and ask you, with how aggressive Team Queso was, how clutch they have been, do you think the map suits their style of play?
I think what it'll do when we go to Exhibit is it'll allow Queso to kind of play the same style, but what you're going to see is I think you're going to see Elevate be that much more aggressive. They're going to push up those aquariums, those Saren hallways, the red and the blue hallways, whatever you want to call them. You're going to see them pressure those hallways more often than not. They are not going to sit back and allow Queso to make the plays around the map. The interesting thing to me, the thing that I really want to keep my eye on, is the 1v1. Okay. We talked about it in our first matchup. We talked about how much that can really dictate the pacing of this map. The thing for me is Elevate has changed that position. I watched the footage from earlier in this pro league, and they've gone through a team change, but I've watched their footage. They have changed the 1v1 player 3 times on that spot. And the most impressive time they've ever had that spot taken over is by Tidy. Every time he plays it, he does better than everybody else, but that kind of translates from his skill set when he was back on Hive. I have seen them put Tidy there. I saw them put Demise there for a hot minute, which was actually really interesting because we know Demise is kind of like that powers player. He played a lot of those 1v1s, those GBs, those UFGs, whatever you want to call them, really honed his skills in a 1v1 sector before making a breakout star as a part of that Nimbus roster way back in the day. So we saw him throw Demise there, but you can't take Demise out of the fight because he's just too damn good to have in that fight. And then they said, all right, well, let's put Vino there. He's new. Let's try to get him used to the situation. The last time I saw them play this map, they had Tidy back there, and they were more successful in that 1v1 section. So that's going to be the big telling point to me.
I mean, I can kind of agree with it, especially since where he plays on certain other maps that does get played out. He does like to play those 1v1 scenarios, especially if you figure out a way to put him in the 1v1, get him a bull talk. He doesn't focus necessarily on his 1v1 exchange. He has the full team awareness in mind. How can I affect that fight? And we know in Gears, if you get like 2-3% damage, which isn't a lot, that makes that player chunkable. You can go in, hit him with a little bit of bot walk, you can get stylish with a reaction shot, do whatever you have to. It just makes it where you're going to get that one shot down. You're going to get that one shot chunk. That makes it to where a player like Tidy is so invaluable in that positioning because of his selfless play. And I think on a map like Exhibit, we've seen time and time again how up top affects fights, whether you're pushing forward, stretching out the defense, forcing someone to backtrack, or getting some sort of a weird angle with your gun from up top, or those instants that really do change the fight, possibly get an elimination up top and open up opportunities down low. But I really do think it's going to be up to the aggression, which team gets into those fights first, which team takes advantage first. And so far, it's been Team Queso all the way. But with Elevate, with their backs up against the wall, I said it, teams, when they have nothing to lose, when they are fearing defeat, they get desperate. And some of them, they shine bright like a diamond.
Well, you know, diamonds are only made under pressure. They either crumble into dust or they harden up and become the hardest to cut surface. That's why they got a thing called diamond cutters. It actually, you use diamonds to cut other rocks. Think about that for a second. That's how hard a diamond is, how hard it is to overcome, and how sharp it can be. That's why they got diamond cutters on the planet. It'll be curious to see if Elevate can ascend to that form. When we go to Exhibit, I hate to kind of hit along the same points that we're used to hitting along, which is you see teams really stick to their similar strategy and weapon placement. Retros, Boltox, go to the Insins, go to the Shocks. I would love to see either of these teams take a chance, especially Elevate. That was back-to-back ugly maps on Asylum for Elevate. They need, to me, They need a confidence booster, and I think the best way to get a confidence booster is just to win some fights, win some shotgun fights. And it's going to sound stupid to say it this way, but kind of put that power weapon down, play around something, be able to force people into a CQC engagement. That's why these players play in shoddy lobbies prior to getting into these matches. Yeah, it's one thing to warm up your hands, warm up your fingers, get mechanical, but there is just a different level of confidence that comes when you're in that shoddy lobby, you're bouncing around, you pick 2 or 3 people off, you chunk 2 or 3 people in a row, and you say, all right, you say, I don't care who loads up against me now, I'm coming out on top in this one, baby. So maybe Elevate needs to put that down. Maybe they need to change up their fortunes by putting out a bigger weapon.
Either that or I'm just thinking in my head, I'm spitballing, I'm theory crafting, you know, I would like to see maybe some sort of a trick strategy. Round number 1 where nothing's on the field. Maybe you can get a little aggressive. Send 4 players down low. Get the eliminations, which is the crucial part. Make sure that capture doesn't come through because you're leaving your back end open for a triple cap domination if it so pleases. But you're able to get that man up, and the other team's not going to expect it. Even if you for some reason lose that round, it's going to go ahead and plant that seed in the back of the mind to where what sort of strategy are they doing? Is somebody hiding up top? Are they doing a 4 down low? Especially if you do that early on, you put that big weapon down later in the game, you have the opportunity to run that strat again. And once again, it will haunt them. It will keep them guessing about where these players are. It will make them probably take a little second to get those marks. But round number 1 definitely coming out, and you see the aggression from Team Queso. Pell might have heard me. I don't think he heard the full strategy, but he heard the key to victory being aggression.
See Pell trying to push up. He's going to have that shot on the Tidy as he hops the cover, but Scavzy down low is going to get down. Now Demise is going to bounce around. He's going to have some help with DeToX and over the
they got
top.
The revive too.
Player. They do get the revives off. They get it down to try to answer back, but that's what I was about to say is over the top. The Lancer Fire from Pell helps solidify a lot of those downs and kills right there. And now Vino goes down on top against Yachty, and that's going to continue to open this aggression up.
Wow. Heidi, we've seen him in the 1v1 scenarios. What about the 1v4 scenarios to try to save the round? You get nothing. Not rewarded. Flash grenades coming in. Couple double stuns, but with 4 players there, you need the perfect flash. Demize getting some trades, though. That's going to be big. 2 big ones, but it's not going to be enough. All 4 players dead. A double cap on the hill, and Team Queso will continue to build onto that momentum as they go up 1-0. And I talked about that strategy. You go all out aggressive. It plants that seed now. From here on out, Elevate has to guess where that aggression is going to come from. Is it going to be on the initial, or will it come somewhere later on in the round?
And think one of the things we're going to have to that'll be able to tell us where that aggression is coming from is if they decide to overload either of these spots. We've been able to see time and time again. We've seen it time and time again where teams overload one of those hallways and press a 2v1 on one side of the map. To me, that's going to be the telltale sign. If Elevate can do that, if they can get a proper 2v1 off, because I think Team Queso, they really showcased the ability of getting somebody else into the fight. And DeToX, again, with that Voltok, just checks Pell immediately and says, hey, I'm going to set you down, don't worry.
Finally, things have slowed down for both teams. Keeping the strategy changing, micro adjustments. That's going to be a big important part. But you see, oh my God, the aggression immediately stops. I was going to say they're gearing up for a push. But headshot from DeToX. You see why is that high percentage of the team's kill participation. Yachty's going to be the next target for Cellz, but Elevate doing a good job of getting that early 2-to-1 capture. And you see the up top fight. It is going to be pressured on a little bit by Yachty, but he's not given any opportunities to push forward. That's going to be a right-hand advantage, I do believe, for DeToX towards the top side, or possibly Vino. DeToX down low towards the bottom, pushing players back with the Voltok. There's going to be a big crucial shot and a big crucial victory in the 1v1 for Vino. Scavzy getting taken out, trying to rotate back, and that's going to be a big elimination coming through. And it's about getting these eliminations or getting the information for anybody rotating back. Pell's going to go down. Chain revives are important, but that stops anybody from rotating, go from home hill to home hill, but it also buys more time for these double point captures to be accumulated.
So here we go with Elevate having the 2-to-1 hill advantage. Team Queso has to find a way back into this. Cellz is down though, so they're going to probably have to wait for him to come off a respawn and try to find a way back into this. Up top, Vino is able to rotate around and try to pressure on a Pell. Pell trying to use that movement very closely. You see him not giving up the angle to Pell, but Pell has hit a full body shot brick, and then the wrap comes out, has that down, and now Pell needs to worry about that next player. Tidy's going to get marked out. Pell's going to try to take that cover. Scavzy's going to have a headshot on the DeToX, but it looks like Demise rotated all the way back, and they're going to get a revive on Vino. This is one of those situations. I don't want to start yelling at people again. I understand the concept behind it, but please, for the love of God, stop leaving people to get revived by their teammates. Just finish Vino off. Just make him come off a respawn. Even if you take an extra second, just kill him anyway.
You just got to know. You got to know the situation, when to do it, when not to do it, because like exactly what Colin said, they're going to get that decap on the hill. You're going to waste time having to worry about him and backtrack, but a quick down up top, chain revive come through. That gives up the information for both Pell and Scavzy, but they need to play aggressive. Flash grenade from down low to up top. That's going to be a window of opportunity. A second one as well, not netting a stun, and that's going to cost them in the end. Scavzy get down and out. Pell gets down by Vino. A nice reaction shot. Got to give credit where credit is due, and a nice hold overall from Elevate in this round as they're trying to look for the final eliminations, and there it goes. Hill's getting decap, points being captured, and a tie ball game, 1 round apiece in map number 2.
That's what Elevate needs. They got to be able to come back into this 1 round at a time. Hey, I heard somebody say, I'm trying to remember who it was that yelled to their team one night. I was listening to these comms and somebody said, we can't win all 5 rounds right now. And that's, I think, how Elevate has to look at this. You are not going to win a map 2 because you won round 2. You're going to win it if you win rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth until you get that 5th round victory. They've got to take these things one at a time. They got to examine what they did right, what they can take away from it, and move forward. If you lose a round, you've got to try to figure out what went wrong. And in that first round, what went wrong was they were able to get Lancered out. They were able to get traded out a bunch in the middle of the map. You just can't have that happen, and they did let it happen in round 2. Look at the differential we have going.
Now the retros are definitely going to play a huge part. Tidy gets down, going over the cover. Great flank from Cellz. Look at how constantly Team Queso is putting the pressure on towards Elevate in the early portions of both of these maps. As you see DeToX, he's trying to be the hero, doesn't get the revive. Players getting eliminated left and right. He knows that push is coming sooner rather than later. He's trying to buy his team some time. And Pistol Fire has to be annoying. No, he just can't get his health back. There's no moment. He does get flanked by Pell again. Vino has to win this up top exchange or everything will come falling down. Yachty wins it, and now they're going to feel pressure like never before as the rest of Team Queso are continuing to find some elimination. Tidy gets 1, and that's going to be a must-have elimination as he gets a second one as well. Big double kill coming out from Elevate to buy some time. Tidy is going to get this decap, so it's not over just yet.
Over-aggression is nobody's friend in Gears 5 right now. You try to pressure up too much without solidified positioning or Lancer angles, and you're going to go down. Scavzy up top. I think he's trying to sneak somebody. He's trying to stay out of sight, out of mind. Vino holding that meat shield, looking for anybody. There's a Lancer over the top. I don't know if they know he's there yet. And if they don't know he's there, he might be able to come away with that kill, but nobody is in a position to take back B, so you see how Elevate is kind of happy to sit back and play on this. And Demise has moved all the way up into that right hallway, excuse me, and is going to try to Lancer across onto Yachty. Tidy's now backside of that little aquarium. He's going to go down. He's going to get taken out of the bench. That's 4v3 effective on the map. Cellz is down. Nobody's in the area just yet. There it is, the quick revive off by Yachty. Yachty now trying to go wide. Gets the one-hit quitter there on the DeToX. He had a little bit of help, I think, from the Lancer fire. And 3 kills in a row are in favor of Team Queso. They need to be able to make this work in their favor. They're gonna choose to cap and step back. They're actually gonna allow 2 players from Elevate to play across the top of the map.
It's like a must-need situation for Elevate. They have the cushion of having the lead right now, but in just a few short seconds, that lead will change on over to Team Queso. You see the spread basically narrowing this down into 2 different 2v2 scenarios for the game. And the longer Elevate takes, the longer they'll have to, or the more chance they'll have to make 2 hills for 1. There goes the first down coming through, but revives are so important. Cellz go down, and that's going to be an open opportunity. That's going to be another big elimination on the other side of the map. They have an opportunity to get not 1, but 2 decaps. The neutral is going to come through, but they need the home mill. Vino's going to get the elimination on the Scavzy and get his wish. No points being given up to Team Queso late into this game. One of the last players alive is going to be Cellz. He gets taken out. Hell can't be everywhere, and that is going to be a comeback for Elevate as they secure round number 3 and go up 2-1.
PR in that situation, 2 times, 2 rounds, I have seen them have somebody down and not be able to either choose to elect not to finish it or choose to not be able to get that kill off quick enough. Right there, I don't remember who the player was, but when DeToX rotated over, he decided to try to get a full spread there. He tried to take another shot on a DeToX to try to get that down. It took him 3 shots to get the first one down. So statistically speaking, you weren't going to get it with the first shot. So all I can think in my head is all that guy on the ground can do is crawl around and hurt your teammate if he gets revived. Finish him off. Leave your teammate in a 1v1 situation. It's a hell of a lot better than a 2v1 situation. Going for that extra shot ends up costing Team Queso in that 2v2. They just straight lost the other one, so there's no real excuse. They probably would have ended up losing the round anyway based off the back of that, but it's just one of those situations where Queso now has had 2 different situations where they can either get a kill or finish off the kill, and leaving that player alive has come back to bite them.
I feel like their coach needs to take a lesson from Mortal Kombat and just finish him.
Damn right. Ain't no wrong with that.
Might be a little too cheesy out there. Probably going to get negative laughs. But DeToX, Demise working together. Trying to get this early positioning over towards Team Queso. There goes a big down on the Tidy. I do believe that was up top, but Pell down low goes down. It comes through with a trade. Chain revives, elimination from Cellz and Pell. Another one from Tidy up top. Almost 4, but Vino's going to keep this game alive for Elevate as he not only gets the elimination, overextends. He's trying to go for the break, but it's taken too much damage. He goes down, but the break is the important part right now because the triple cap domination sounding off for a moment, the time necessary for Vino. He bought his team, so they're going to be able to get their heal and fight back, but it's a matter of executing, getting these eliminations. There goes another one onto Cellz. They're going to leave him down, knowing no one's up top to get the revive.
Surprised that Cellz didn't continue to run there. He's going to go ahead and bleed himself out. He knows nobody's going to be able to get there for him. DeToX is up top, trying to make sure nobody gets called out. That's going to be Pell that gets called out down low. He's going to be full red. He might actually get pressured very quickly on this corner. There's 2 players in front of him. They have to worry about the rotation by DeToX, who's now on their home. Shots in. DeToX is going to be a little bit red, a little hurt, but Pell, he's going to wait on that cubby corner, get that kill. It's going to be 4v3 on the map. You see the rotation all the way across the bottom. It's going to be Yachty. He's going to be in this hill. He's going to pick up the Boltok, steal the Boltok now from Elevate. He gets the decap, and I believe he's going to try to get the hell out of dodge here with his life intact. Tidy's going to be following him. Yachty picks the Boltok back out. Decap on the B hill, but Vino's going to get that kill. Cellz is trying to bounce in, gets the shot over the cover. Now he has to worry about Tidy behind him. This is a good couple of fights.
Oh my God.
He comes away with another double kill, and Demise hears it, and he knows it. He has to get the hell out of there. He rolls back. But kills are just being traded across the map. This is one of those situations where neither team can really solidify their positioning, but it's going over in favor of Queso as they have a 50-point lead or so, and it's going to be up to that 200-point threshold very soon.
Yeah, these trades definitely favor Team Queso in this scenario. They're going to have to get an advantage somewhere, but Cellz continuously shutting it down with the help of Scavzy. They find themselves 2 more eliminations. Cellz baiting that shot come out, especially knowing you have reinforcements. I don't bet against the big shots being fired off, the bait and switch coming through, making sure that they keep their point man fresh. And another pair of eliminations. They're just slowly trying to win this one. They're not going to get over aggressive. They're not going to get taken out where the tables will turn. They're just going to simply win off points as Team Queso looking to tie this one up. But I might have said that too soon. Scavzy goes in. All the confidence in the world knowing he cannot lose except for that battle as they tie it up 2 rounds apiece going into the half.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to Exhibit or new to Gears Esports in general, I like to always say it. PR laughs right there because he knows what's coming. Exhibit is one of our very unique maps. As none of the hills rotate, you will play the same fights throughout this entire map spread. You will still be down low in the middle, still at the same home spawns there just outside of the Ocean and Locust Exhibit. Maybe that's why PR still calls them the Locust, because they're so old and so extinct that there's actually an exhibit in Exhibit about some things that have been long since dead.
Oh my. Now?
I'm never gonna let you live that. I told you I was gonna make an example out of you for calling him Loki.
hey, man. I actually use those characters. Those are my favorite characters. But I mean, the bunny. What is the bunny?
He's a grenadier. He's a Locust grenadier. She's a shirtless.
There we go.
He's a shirtless.
My statement stands, but Yachty's gonna go ahead and stand as well. Taking out Vino up top. Great trades down low though. Elevate is holding on, getting the downs, but unable to solidify any of these eliminations. Hell doing what he can to push these players back with a flash. Going to be successful, but nobody's backing him up as Elevate are trying to go for this capture. They did get their home decapped by Yachty because of that 1v1 exchange early on, so the points going in favor of Team Queso early. They have to figure out a way to stop the bleeding and get their home hill back, and Yachty doing the right good job right now of resetting it yet again. So finally Elevate's going to get this 2-1 hill capture. Another elimination on the Cellz, so opportunities are opening. It's about how fast can Elevate take advantage. Can they capitalize, or they will let another one slip through their hands?
Well, what you see is Elevate, now that they have the 2-1 hill advantage, they'll get back into this in the point department very quickly. I think what Queso was trying to do was OE a little bit, give themselves an overextension and the ability to kind of get that decap and then flank. And it just wasn't quick enough, and so many people continuously went down for Team Queso that all you saw was a couple of Lancer shots on, getting that third and final down, ends up getting those kills, and now you see 2 players from Team Queso trying to pressure this Locust side of the map. This red hallway, as some people like to call it. Cellz now, shots on a Demise. There's nowhere for them to go, nowhere for them to hide. Vino comes on the flank, and that's a beautiful flank. Cellz, if he gets any kills here, I mean, it's icing on the cake for them to try to stay in this round. But I think you're going to see Elevate once again play back, allow Queso to play into them, and that's the smart move on in my estimation. Because Elevate right now, for my bread and butter, has put themselves in worse situations in this map than Team Queso, and have still come out after the first half tied up.
Shows the resilience. Shows they're a team that will definitely never give up. And always figure out a way to fire back when needed. Cellz getting a lot of big damage on. Does he know reinforcements are waiting right around that corner? No, he does not. Gets taken out because of it. I do believe that Scavzy trying to throw a flash grenade, doesn't get the stun, and Demise makes him pay, staggering out the death. I wonder if he's going to pick up that flash grenade, but we're going to go into this fight towards up top. It's almost a must-win fight for Yachty as he's watching his teammates fall left and right. Reinforcements coming through. Yachty is going to get taken out. And once again, Elevate, even after losing to Noble early on, not really letting that affect them here in map number 2, as they're going to figure out a way to close it out and once again get the lead in Exhibit 3-2.
So when we go to this next round, what I'll want to see, or what I'll want to kind of be able to react to, is the way that Queso has to find a way to not falter when they get the early advantage, especially across home to home. When they were going on those flanks, they just didn't get into position fast enough, which gave up the open angles, the open hallway there for them to get so many downs on. I believe it was Cellz and Pell on that right-hand angle. So here in this next round, in round number 6, when you get that first kill, you need to be able to flash and dash over and be able to rotate and especially shoot in the back of your opponents that are trying to fight off your teammates. Retro's incendiaries for both squads. I think the interesting thing will be how we see them take this next fight. DeToX, that was a lot of shots on a DeToX, which is going to set him down a little bit earlier. But you can see Yachty up top. A flame comes out onto Demise. That's a little mistimed incendiary, if you ask me. That needs to get that kill, or it needs to be in the middle of that cover to stop him from being able to take that true angle. He has to go to one side or the other. So now I believe, I'm trying to look at Elevate and see, it's going to be Demise has the incendiary, and Demise to me is the key player because with that incendiary, that insta-give capability, it's just going to stop anybody from trying to get to that E-hill.
I was thinking right now, I see Scavzy pushing over. Cellz is the difference maker down low. He's at least trying to get as much damage as he can. He's been waiting for the call for Tidy. I was going to say, Cellz and the rest of Team Queso, the difference maker is that retro in terms of pushing one of these hallways. You have to be precise if you're Demise. You're going to hit that, but he knows his teammate pushed in the other hall. He has the luxury to do it. He's going to land some damage, but unable to get that insta-give you were talking about. Vino wins up top along with DeToX. They actually win the exchange down low. Not up top, but with 2 players dead, it's going to open up the opportunity for Elevate to press forward. And then we go back towards that up top fight. Yachty is going to win it, but that was because Vino, he had his attention elsewhere. They got that kill down towards the bottom, and this is where both... Oh, yep.
Oh, no.
Was that too soon, Colin? Was that too soon?
I don't know
what I was saying. Was that too soon?
I have no idea, PR. I'm a little concerned now. No need for that in this situation. Yachty's going to pressure up. He's going to have DeToX in front of him. They're going to be cornered on this cubby, and DeTox smart enough to know his teammates coming off a respawn. Team Queso is falling back into bad habits. A little bit of extra pressure, a little bit of push up and take a 1v1, try to stack up. They're not fighting with each other as much. They're not playing as a team unit yet again. And this is where they were faltering earlier in the season. And this is not the same Team Queso that was 1 round away from beating Pittsburgh yesterday.
Definitely is not. And that's what happens when there's so much at stake, and even though there's not too many implications coming off of this one match, that pressure of the major and playing to perfection is definitely there. Scavzy put out as much fire as he can. Gets help from Cellz as they get the down. Scavzy's going to get the last laugh. They work together and push through to get a double kill. They get the spot on a Tidy, so they know where the next target is at. It's about solidifying it with your team. They get another one. Vino gets the instant, tries to execute with an elimination, but I would like to see him try to use it on towards the home hill, but he doesn't get an opportunity for the break if he doesn't get this elimination. But the hill gets reset on the other side of the map. He does get taken down, but everybody is just falling left and right. Tidy gonna be the last man alive, gets the reset, but nothing else, as Team Queso will tie it up 3 rounds apiece, and Scavzy letting him know what he thinks about that hump early on.
Oh, look. Queso not playing solo, not playing separately, all of a sudden starts to push things 2-man up. They play together. They're playing as a 2-headed lion, and they devour the gazelles that were Elevate, flashing and dashing and flying around the map earlier in that round, and come away with round number 6 and tie this up. And as everybody knows, I like to say, it's going to be a best of 3. Oh, can't you see? Elevate needs to win the next 2 out of 3 to try to stay alive and see a map 3.
See, now that I see the retros every 60 seconds, I want to see Cellz and somebody on Team Queso off this initial get aggressive. Cellz has to lead the charge with those retro Lancer shots, but his teammate has to push up and capitalize. Even if you're not getting the elimination, it's getting the positioning that is important, but you have to also be careful for these utilities in the hands of DeToX. You can't let it go through for free. But you see Cellz, he's usually that player that grabs the retro. They're overextending towards the top half of the map, trying to get as much of that positioning and spread out the defense as spread as possible.
Here we go. Neutral E-hill. Incendiary out onto Cellz. Misses, but Demise has a kill on Scavzy. And there's the retake. Pell will have the kill on him. 3v3 on the map effectively. DeToX trying to rotate up. They've got both angles onto that player in the middle of the map. Cellz over-rotates, though. And now Demise has to pick that meat shield up. Cellz has to try to hop and drop because he's going to get rotated on from the spawn. There's the down on Demise as well in the middle of the map. Nobody has control over the E-hill just yet. Nobody's affirmed it. Vino and Tidy up top, trying to pressure the top side of the map. Tidy has this call out on Yachty, and Vino's actually pressing. If I'm Yachty, I play back. You got to play away from this. You can't play into 2v1. I don't think... There's the help, I believe. A little bit of a right-hand angle, so now they can play into it. Pell is up here as well. Double bounce out from Tidy will get one, but the trades will go in favor of Queso, and nobody is here for the revive, so Demise is going to come up now and try to pressure. Maybe go for this revive. He's going to pressure up. Lancer shots out. 40-point differential in PR. Things are settling in very nicely. Tidy will be coming back off a respawn. Oh my
no! Broke his back to limbo.
Ladies and gentlemen,
those are those moments. Those are the times. Yes! Perfect! Thank you, Pell! That was honestly just a great series of events coming through, and DeToX is definitely going to press forward up top. Trying to keep the pressure, trying to spread out the defense, which is absolutely needed if you're elevating. Great shots. That was a big shot coming out from DeToX, but I gotta be careful of those reaction shots. We've seen players lose their life time and time again. Great retro shots coming out from Yachty. You see the rotation coming through, playing it to perfection. They're not necessarily worried about capturing the neutral hill, though, because they have the lead. It's up to Elevate to get these captures, to get these hills, and make the moves to perfection. And late into this one, there goes another down. Scavzy is just waving around these shots and just showing them who's boss with 3 players dead. If DeToX goes down, it's over.
DeToX full red. He's at that pillar. He's going to go down from the middle of the map, and he's going to be killed off. The 2-to-1 hill advantage still in favor. Scavzy, no! Scavzy, why? Oh, God.
I salute you.
There's a part of me that, like, oh, I could do this all day,
this
baby.
is the best.
I can do this all day.
This is the best.
Oh, God. Yo, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a part of me that, like, if you start emoting like that and the round's not over, like, there's a part of me that wishes there was a flip, like a switch that I could flip where all the hills just decap. Like, nope. Sir, win the round, sir. Sir.
Light work. I need more of a workout. This guy ain't giving me enough, but Team Queso, series point, if you guys have forgotten, 4-3, 1 round away from closing this one out and edging out my predictions over Taylor Reflections Noble. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and remind you guys out. It's not just these 2 teams battling for their own position in the standings. They're battling for us casters and our prediction standings as well. Not that it matters to anybody but us.
Here we go. We're going to have to see who can come out on top here. Incendiary's locked out for both sides in this round. Scavzy will have the retro off spawn. You see the flash come out. Cellz is trying to really rotate here and get the shots on Demise. Double Lancers onto him. A second down comes out. But DeToX gets the easiest. I thought we saw the easiest double kill earlier. It was DeToX right there. He walked into the backside of 2 players, got both of them with 1 hit Aquitas, and got both kills quickly and succinctly.
You're done. Why? Win the game, please. Win the round at least.
If you don't win it now, it's all over. If you don't win it, you better find yourself a new job, baby, because we gonna be talking about it. I'm gonna be talking about it.
I always get scared now when I see the limbo laser. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it the limbo laser because you need some good flexibility and you gotta limbo under it to stay alive. But Yachty, get in this position. They know he's there. They may not know exactly where he's positioned at, but they know he overextended towards the top side, which knows that they don't have the 4 players down low. Cellz gets taken out, traded out by Tidy. Opportunity here for somebody to gain an upper hand. The reinforcements coming through on this side of the map. That's going to be a big elimination. They need to try to make sure that they keep as much health as they can. They can't let this one slip through. They're doing everything right, and they even get the decap towards the back end. Once they solidify this decap on the neutral, they're going to start gaining these points. They're going to start putting themselves in a great position, but they got to stay alive. Right now, 1 player went ahead and died. That was Yachty, and Pell gets taken out as well. All those good moves can easily be put to a halt by Elevate if they're quick enough, if they use this man advantage in their favor.
And this is what I was talking about earlier that always worries me, is that you get a little over aggressive, you get a little tilted, you gotta sit down, stay down, and keep your wits about you in fights. But now they are pressuring the rest of the players from Team Queso. You see the downs coming out. DeToX playing next to Vino, continuing to put out damage. Vino all by himself now is gonna go down. You see them trying to pressure out across the map. Scavzy's trying to get to that 90-degree, trying to get behind some opponents. You see Demise trying to pressure up, and Pell, he needs to just hop and drop and get the hell out of dodge. You see Demise taking that cubby corner. Shots from that middle area is going to get him down, and you see them wolf packing over to the next kill. They need to get this next down and out, or this retake on the hill, so they can try to get back into this one.
This is some great last-second moves from Team Queso to put themselves in possession of these 2 hills. They trail some points, but you see the win condition at the top. It's going to go over Team Cheese here if no plays are going to be made from Elevate. And it's so late into this one, Elevate could try to use 2 pushes or they can make one final good push. Pell finds that first elimination. He gets traded out though. Tiny goes down. This is a big opportunity for Team K, so no elimination being picked up. Big crosses toward the backside. These chain revives are huge. The eliminations go over to Elevate. Their wish has been granted. They get the eliminations. They get the decap, but they have to get the capture as well. If they get the capture, that is all they need to win this round.
Cellz is going to have to try to take this 1v1. He wins it, but I don't know if he has enough time to get all the way to the F hill. They're going to have one player playing all the way back. It's 4v3 on the map officially. Pell is going to, and you see Yachty dying to DeToX there, and Scavzy now. It'll be 4-4. It's going to go to round number 9 here in map number 2 to try to settle this one out. Will we see a map 3? Will we see a 2-0? Find out in this next round, because that one took 3 minutes and 14 seconds, and I don't expect this one to be any quicker.
Both of these teams making micro adjustments, making big adjustments, switching up their strategy, trying to keep the enemy team guessing. And this is where Elevate, like I said, there's going to come a point in time where they have to throw out that middle weapon. And now comes that time. You can throw out something low like a Marxa, yes, or something big, but it is going to be a Marxa, trying to give as little impact on the game as possible. But in the right hands, that Marxa is definitely going to be deadly. Because of that 60-second retro half, Team Queso can just go ahead and upgrade to a shock grenade. So it's going to be all even in terms of weapon placements.
Out of spawn we go. Picking up their incendiaries, picking up their shock. Cellz over the top. We'll try to get some damage on a Demise, but not going to be enough for whatsoever in that situation. Really put pressure on him. Demise now surveying the area. Once again, it'll be about who gets that first initial pick, who gets the initial down and damage to be able to pressure up.
I do like how it does slow down, though. You can almost see the thought process in some of these players, where they're looking, where they're pushing up, what angles they're trying to get. See up top, neither player really stretching in towards that mark. So like I said, they just wanted a weapon that causes that little impact as possible. But honestly, with the high ground, with the marks of the precision, like I said, in the right hands, it can really turn the tides. One flash grenade, smoke, instant, everything being used right now. But it's going to be Elevate who hold on to everything. So all that utility was used on the side of Team Queso.
That gives Elevate a decided advantage to try to get this retake on the hill. The shock's out. Pushing back, Tidy's down now, but I don't know if anybody can move up on him just yet. See Vino getting a lot of damage onto Yachty, almost trapping him with that shock as well. So neither team still with a down or a kill. Vino now has the Marxa. He's going to be snubbed just a little bit, but not going to be enough at all.
That's Yachty up top. That was Yachty up top. He got the down on the Tidy. He gave up the Marxa, got crucial damage. Let's see what they can do with it. They get some big downs. The instant grenade's going to create some separation, so they're unable to capitalize just yet. Cellz goes down, but he's going to have to be left to dry. As you see, another player, Scavzy, trying to buy some time. He's trying to stay alive, but the pressure is there. He misrolls! Tiny misrolls! He gets taken out for the trade coming through. It's going to be Elevate who get the hill capture, but both home hills are being traded, so Elevate now are going to have that point lead. The pressure is going to be felt for Team Queso here the longer this one goes on.
You can see Pell trying to just stay alive in that cubby corner, trying to stay alive, be a nuisance to the side of Elevate. He's going to go down. They're going to be able to clean him up, get their home back. The 3 players from Team Queso coming off a spawn have a Marxa to worry about, as well as all the respawned utility. Oh, I was looking for any little niche that he could hit on. And Scavzy goes down anyway. It's going to be, this is going to be an easy kill. I hate to say it, PR. I don't want to call it quote unquote early. But I think this is pretty much it.
I was say, don't. I did, and Yachty made me look like a fool here. But like you said, this is a whole different situation. This is a whole different map. This is a whole different setup coming out. Barring any miracles, Team Queso need to play perfect in this round number 9. Yachty is already down. Flame grenade gonna eliminate Cellz. So 2 players dead. I think you made the right move to call this one. Barring any miracles, barring any massive kills coming out from Pell onto the home hill. His teammates need to be in 2 places at once. Less than 10 seconds on that win condition. The push is going to come through. A shock grenade. That's the final nail in the coffin. Elevate. Fighting tooth and nail. Coming back when needed. Going to close out map number 2. Force a tiebreaker scenario. And that is it. 5-4.
5-4. Elevate answer back in a back-and-forth contest on Exhibit. This one is too hot to handle and too cold to hold. It will have to go to a map number 3 to decide a victor between Elevate and the side of Team Queso. Find out right after this who's going to come away with the victory. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to match number 2 between Elevate and Team Queso in the only pro league that has a host uglier than the mascot of Dogecoin. That is yours truly, Colin the Crow Clark, and I am being joined by Jacob MVPR, and both of us had a sneaky suspicion that the second we saw a little love tap go out in round 7, that it was not going to end well for said team.
Yep, and that's kind of the curse that we've had here for a long time. We like to talk about the caster's curse, but showboating a little too early is a bigger curse that some of these players have yet to overcome and hold strong. Map number 3 is definitely going to be a treat, especially with how this previous map on Exhibit went. Look at the highlights right now, play after play, and even the lasers getting a piece of the action.
Lasers, they don't want to feel left down in this. Okay, lasers count too. Okay, trust me, lasers have feelings, and when you forget about them, they burn red hot with a fiery passion that will cut you straight in twain. Okay,
or deadly AI. The lasers of the train.
Oh, it's got to be the train, because there's a part of me that just imagines the conductor as a real person sitting in the Coalition studios, like waiting for the even though it's on a timer, there's a person that just clicks a button and he's like, you know what, you're down, now you're dead. You know, you're down, now you're dead.
He has inside back end where he can control the trains at any custom match. He just so happens to tune into this one, but man, it really goes to show that the pressure some of these players are on. You see it on Asylum. You see it on this map, that sometimes you make the wrong play, you misroll at the wrong time. It'll definitely cost you your life in the end. So you got to make sure that you guys have your palms as dry as possible, that you guys are not giving up anything open to your enemy team to really take advantage of. And misrolls, we see it time and time again, and we also see it change tides in team fights, big fights. But map number 3 on District, Colin, what do you expect to see here?
One hell of a battle in the middle of the map over that mid-neutral hill, and both teams jockeying for position. That's what I expect to see, and already you see the double stand-up in the info and juice side, green and blue, however you want to call it out. But it looks like Elevate has taken position over the backside of the B hill. So they are looking for the initial drop into that hill to go for the drop, the stop, and the cap on the hill to try to get the early advantage. But this is definitely going to be a snail's pace of the map until somebody tries to flash out and dash out and get into those engagements.
Yep. This is one of those maps, Foundation, you know, this one on a District, where I talk about the center of the map being so important because it gives up options. It allows you to where you want to extend down low, you want to go ahead and try to attack the juice or the top portions of the map. And early on, you see that player playing again that 1v1 position that we talked about last map in Tidy. He gets that down low bandstand, but they have 2 players in towards the juice. That's where I want to see Tidy fake a play in towards the middle, bait Scavzy out to try to get something. And that's where if you get some early damage, or if Scavzy doesn't contest you, you could try to make that play while you have that 1-up 3v2 in towards the middle, try to overextend towards the top half of the map. But I do think it comes down to Elevate here making the first move, unless we see something that we've seen in the mid-split playoffs with Hive versus PK. They wait till the very end and go for a last-second flash and dash on a hill capture.
So here we go with setting up in that juice now. Not going to be able to really, again, just do anything as we cross up over that 100-point threshold. It's going to be up to who makes that first move. I'm surprised that Yachty is not poked out to try to go to the backside, but Demise has got a nice position. I mean, especially if you can mark Demise and you see him bouncing around, even if they get a couple of Lancer shots on you, it'll be harder for Demise to kind of push up into that position to take that 1v1 or go for the final kill there.
He's just raising the roof. Bring the noise! Bring the noise, everybody! I know this one gets a little boring. It gets a little stalemated, but right now, Team Queso, I was going to say, Elevate have the upper hand here tenfold because of their positioning around the map. if Elevate want to play this game, they have to be ready to push forward. Not Elevate, but Team Queso, they have to be ready to push forward. Because like we saw, like we talked about, that last second triple capture on the neutral is a big possibility for Elevate, especially the longer this one takes. And it doesn't look like Team Queso are positioning their players, maneuvering them around, shuffling the defenses to try to find a move. It just seems like they're just waiting for Elevate to try to make the move in the end. And hopefully they can capitalize and get some downs, get some kills before the capture comes through.
Up over the 175 marker here shortly, and again, nobody's still made a move, but Elevate has the top of the bottom of the map, and you see Team Queso playing, excuse me, Team Queso has the top and the bottom. No, it's Elevate. It's just the names are flipped up top. My bad. Still on.
Literally what I was
round.
just going through.
Yeah, in my head, I was like, wait.
What happened was,
look, I've been dumb before. I'll be dumb again. It's nothing new. We'll work on it here later. Yachty's finally moving up to where Yachty has a position that he can challenge Demise if he goes into that mid-neutral.
You see the numbers. Look at the numbers from Elevate. They rotated that player back, DeToX, and now he's actually in the center of the map. That makes that possibility to last second capture that much more. Is Elevate prepared, Colin? That is going to be the biggest factor right now. Are they prepared to stop the capture, get the downs, get the eliminations, especially with that damage mitigation? Smoke going out. Flashes, utility, all out for everybody. Demise gets down first, but the capture goes through. Now they need a capture or a double decap of their own. And I don't know who's in position. Pell's going to get one on the home hill, but nobody is on this neutral hill.
Doesn't matter because Tidy wins a 1v1 at the neutral hill, and some love taps out early in this one from the side of Elevate. They win round number 1 after a standstill stalemate of a first round. We will go to round 2 with some DeToX on the map, probably, more likely than not. See them place them out. There we go. Oh, put down a big power weapon. Put down a big power weapon up top.
Right now, I don't think we're going to see another big stalemate round like that, especially with how it went out. It's going to be up to Team Queso here to not let something like that happen. You had different avenues, different angles, but you gave up inch by inch on the map until Elevate was in that positioning to do just that. But now you see nobody again from Team Queso trying to push out to get positioning on the map, which they're once again giving it up, conceding it over to Tidy and the rest of Elevate, which giving up them options that I was talking about before. So hopefully they learn their lesson, even if this one does come down to the wire again with a big amount of Z's at the end. Hopefully they have more of a defensive stop and can get aggressive in the blink of an eye.
See, Tidy is already inside of the bandstand. And once again, they're set up. And once again, we have another stalemate round. Meerkat, I'm going to love you if you go to Ghost Cam and just start floating around.
Right now, honestly, I like the setup from Team Queso with them pushing down low. Hop over that cover. Like I said, get control of that center portion of the map, especially since there is that mismatch down low. We just have to be careful, not get taken out in the middle, but this is where time is essence. DeToX is making that rotation. I don't know if they came through, but Tidy somehow stays alive while taking all that Lancer fire. And because of that rotation from DeToX, options, and a man up, it's going to open up that push from down low. Lots of damage being dealt out, though. Nobody really contesting just yet as Pell is trying to be as safe as possible. Here comes the decap opportunity. Big Lancer fire once again, and Scavzy here to back him up, but the 2 hills going over to Elevate, so once again making that first move for their team, giving up the advantage.
Oh no, home stretch from Team Queso does have a decap over there at the A hill, trying to Lancer back across, trying to help out, but now he's matched up in a 1v1 against Vino, and Vino will go down. Cellz will win that fight, which will give them the ability to try to cap it up. Yachty here at the B hill, being matched up by Demise. Demise trying to take this fight over the fountain. Hasn't gotten the down just yet. And Yachty trying to keep the shots onto him. Flash out onto Demise. Will have the stun. And now Demise needs to get out of there. Needs to rotate out. I think Yachty's going to try to stay in the hill to go for the decap. Going to threaten the triple cap domination. Back A out. Full red is Yachty. He has to worry now about Vino. Has plenty of time to get that kill. Solidify that hill. 1-1. We go to round number 3. All tied up.
Those are the moments right there that I always wish we had some sort of Astro listening, some sort of leak in that communication, because there was time for Demise. He didn't have to rush in, up A for that kill. He could have played it a little bit wide. You saw Vino coming through. He could have got the damage necessary to talk talk about that word that reflection's made up, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the Gears dictionary. Chunkable. He would have definitely been chunkable with a couple of shots. That round could have definitely been going, but two different pages from players, and that's where you talk about the new player in Vino. Maybe they just haven't found their chemistry just yet, and Team Queso really taking advantage of it there. Retro's down low towards the bottom portions of the map, so if somebody loses this round, they can put a big weapon up top and negate anything that's being built down low.
Here we see already, it looks like Queso is going to go with another little overextension through the bottom side of the map. They have two players down there playing low. Scavzy's going to get marked out playing through the fountain. I don't think they know that he has a... They got to know that he has a teammate there, or else they would have tried to make a move into the B hill. But you see them trying to recoil a little bit. Yep. Trying to just be able to pull back. DeToX is up inside of the info.
I'm just glad it's Team Queso with the positioning this time around. Even if this one does come down to a stalemate, this one does come down to the wire. The positions have definitely flipped, and we're going to see Team Queso in the driver's seat trying to push forward for a last-second capture, and we're going to see Elevate defensively setting up, figuring out how they're going to react to something they've already done once towards Team Queso. So this one does come down to the wire. That's the big if. But right now, with it being around 65 points apiece, there's so much time for both of these teams to really have that push and pull, rotate their numbers around, get information, even play some tricks, try to tease these players out. And there goes that first, I was gonna say, there goes that first rotation. It's going to be DeToX time and time again, making the rotation for Elevate. But he has to not be marked. We talked about that as well.
He's been marked. He's sitting behind the info. I think they've lost him now.
Yep.
They don't have anything really that they can do. They got to figure out a way to get in this position and ability to get this push off. I think they do know that there are two players down here now, and DeToX is rotated into the top side of the info, which would give them the chance to try to 2v1 maybe Demise in the back, but they haven't rotated Yachty out of the juice. Try to maybe go for a flank. Here comes a flash out. Scavzy's going to try to get these marks off. He sees that there's two there. He's going to be at the 90 degree, able to pressure and shot up, but just the wide angles that they were able to take, just too much, too early, too hard to go. DeToX is going to go down. Trades are coming through, but I think right now Team Queso is going to be on the wrong end of this stick, and it's going to be a triple cap domination getting ready to tick through, and Cellz has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, nowhere to go. It's going to be 2-1 Elevate. I asked this as nicely as humanly possible. Will we see a power weapon?
I think we will. Team Queso, their strength was aggression, and right now it's being they're being iced. It's like when you call that timeout right before the kicker tries to go for the field goal. And that's exactly what's happening. Nothing is being given. They're not able to formulate that momentum. They're not really able to build off of what they were doing in the first two maps, even though they lost map number 2. But they're not changing anything up. And honestly, you got to pinpoint one moment in that last round. It's Pell. 100% Pell gave that one up. He had two players pushing him. He thought he had the damage to get the kills. He risked his life going in for the up A. That up A wouldn't have got the chunk on. It would have got it down. He still would have died in the end. So that was one of the biggest mistakes of that round, giving it up to Elevate. Let's see what they can do with the advantage here, as once again it does have these inklings to have a slow start, as nobody having that headbutt war on either side of the map.
Demise once again has the backside of the cinema, and will be able to just kind of sit down and relax. He's not going to be pressured at all.
This is where, you know, these moments, Colin, are usually the hardest, especially when Tidy or somebody in this position to where you have to basically run down a straight, narrow hallway if you're going to try to eliminate him, get control of that home hill. He's sitting pretty. He's just getting information, getting as much damage, even somebody rotating in towards the middle. So he's in a good spot there. Scavzy has a very similar angle, but he needs to get in the middle. Right now, Scavzy needs to get in the middle and keep them guessing, make them fear what could be a push on two different points of the map. Uh-oh, there goes Demise.
They got the smoke out this time, and Demise is actually rotated over to the backside of the map. You are correct. He's trying to get an angle, trying to get into the pockets, I guess, of Team Queso, trying to make this 3-1. Pell is going to rotate all the way over. He's inside that cubby corner. Tidy is going to Lancer out, but Tidy's going to go down. If anybody can finish him off, that'd be big, but just trading out some downs right now, and Tidy's still with that retro. It's just so deadly, so damaging. Flashes out, a second down comes through. They're trying to get that third down and out, and they do get it. But on the opposite side of the map, Elevate has won yet another set of fights. So even though they win the home-to-home stretch, Elevate is still alive in this because they've won the opposite side of the map. And now they're going to push pressure in home to home on the side of Team Queso. And Queso's now left Pell by himself at the home hill.
Now Team Queso can do that setup to where you kind of hold on to your hills, hold on, wait for it Elevate to make the push down low. Pell's doing that, trying to be as sneaky as possible. I don't think he's going to be as sneaky as he thinks. There's two players trying to push in. Cellz gets one, though. That's going to make his job a little bit easier. He's just wasting time, everything in the books. He even makes it to where they didn't get the decap, so finally that kill and elimination is going to come through, but it comes at a cost. They're going to trade those home hills down towards the bottom portion of the map, but nobody from Elevate has any presence in the mid or top portion. So this is basically going to be a trade. Team Queso is still going to hold on to two hills, and the pressure is still going to be on Elevate to figure out where they're going to get that second hill from. And the longer they take, the longer or more chances they're going to have 3 hills neutralized or 2 under their belt.
Now it's going to be a 40-point differential. Elevate's going to have to make a push. They're going to have to get into that mid-neutral hill, try to get that decap. Smokes are out. There's a lot of shots on Demise, but not enough. You see them getting into the B hill. You see now the Retro Lancer trying to play defense at the home hill. Shots on, trying to just put as much damage out as possible. Tidy's going to go down. Not able to finish him up, just trading out down. Scavzy will be up top with the Retro. It's going to force them to get into the hill. They're going to have to pressure up. The Retro, though, will have a lot of damage on him. Vino pushes up, but he goes down and out. Finally, the C hill will be retaken, and B hill never got decapped. That'll round this one off. 2-2 going into the second half. All tied up between Team Queso and Elevate.
I want to ask you before the weapon comes down. With everything that you've seen so far, 2-2 going in the half, Hill's changing hands, and you can see a lot of their arsenal is built up at the bottom side of the map. Do you think now is the time to put that big weapon down, or with it being so evenly matched, nobody even wanting to make that big move, that it's going to be a balanced, patient game?
They're not gonna make the move. Both teams are gonna go to like Hammer Burst or something along those lines. Maybe the Retro to the Incendiary. It's gonna be Hammies and Retros on both sides, or Incendiary and Boltok. There it is.
Now would be the time, though. Now would be the time. If I'm Elevate, you throw that weapon down towards the bottom half of the map after this. You already have the instance built up. They're only going to be able to match it. So you negate being down a weapon placement with the way things are set up right now. Obviously, things should change depending on who wins or loses the match. As Elevate already taking that aggressive stance down towards the bottom half of the map, going for that early capture. That way we don't come down to the stalemate situation. But Cellz, he realized the pressure is on. No contestation in towards the top or that portion of the map. He gets a free home hill. So everything Elevate was doing right to get that early capture has just been negated. But somebody needs to contest him up top.
Cellz has a flash. Vino is there, and I believe they have one other player in the wings. That's going to be Tidy. The mark out again. Cellz still has his utility. Hits it off the cubby corner, gets the stun onto Vino. Full body spread, second shot gets the kill. So now Cellz will continue to hold the home-to-home stretch in a 3v4 situation. The rest of the members of Elevate kind of have to rotate around. Demise is going to be lancered on, taken down. No, he's not. He's in the cubby corner. He's got a teammate now in DeToX. They don't get the down. They don't get the kill either. Now Pell is left in a 2v1. He has to find somebody, but he's not going to find either of them. Yachty pushes in. He's by himself. What God's green earth were you thinking, taking this one after the next play and follow the leader? You were playing lemurs, jumping off of the ledge.
Now, tables have definitely turned triple gap domination opportunity for Elevate. When most of this round was dominated by Team K, so Tidy coming off respawn a little late. That's why it took a little bit longer, but all the eliminations still going in way of Elevate. Yachty not even close enough to sniff the hill, so it will be secured by Elevate 3-2. They keep this one going back and forth, so now they have that first weapon placement. I talked about with the instance being down low, they could put the big weapon down low and then negate the disadvantage they would be at. But with them being ahead, I can see them not wanting to put that big weapon down. You start building the top half of the map and force Team Queso to put that big weapon down, force them to be at a bigger disadvantage than what we've already seen. Not going to happen, though.
Nope, Incendiary is going to be matched up.
I was gonna say, I do like, though, how they're taking their time. They're discussing things, figure out what adjustments they're gonna make, figure out what they did right and wrong in that round, and quickly, because there's not a lot of time, figure out how to integrate that in their gameplay.
Rolling out of spawn, both teams are gonna pick their Incendiary up, but once again, Elevate putting a lot of pressure down low. They've already gotten players into the area. Demise is gonna be there. Lancer shots from Cellz are trying to set him off. Pell has already been taken down by the utility grenade. And now Cell is going to get, I believe, quad lancered. I believe all 4 players shot at him. It took him down. 2 players trying to rotate into this fight, trying to help out this last player. Vino's going to go down. Scavzy gets the other. They're going to get this E hill, and it's going to be up to Tidy to stay alive for his squad up at the F hill.
Yeah, staying alive is the key word right there, Colin. Just the longer he stays alive, the more time he buys his team. And if you see, he has Scavzy and Pell worrying about him. So his team has a 3v2 on the map, but does he give him time to spawn up and get there? He did his best, but that's going to be not enough time. They get the decap. They back out, trying to stay. Oh, my God. Sneaky Cellz gets a kill. Tidy going down as well, and they have another man advantage. So if they so please, Cellz can hold on to this juice. They can try to angle out these players and continue to stagger the deaths.
See, Demise is full red. DeToX has picked up that retro once again at the top of the map. Demise finds a kill. How do you let this happen to you? And now you've left Scavzy in a 3v1 situation. They are not playing as the unit that we saw in map 1 or in the rounds that they won in map 2. It's only a 20-point differential. You continue to pressure up, but you just keep putting yourself in situations where you're able to get picked off one after the next.
Not looking good. I always talk about the situation where Elevate needed to stop the bleeding now. This bleeding needs to be stopped by Team Queso. You see 2 players set up down low, 1 in the juice, 1 up top. Yachty's gonna try to overextend as far as DeToX lets him, but wow, well-placed shots, well-placed marks, well-placed damage coming through from Elevate that makes Demise's job here in this situation easier. Quick one-shot chunks, one-shot downs, and you see them pressing forward towards the bottom half of the map. They're trying to solidify triple cap domination. They want to go for this victory, and Scavzy's just going to give it to him.
There's nowhere for him to go. He goes out the front. He's going to get double lancered. He goes out the back. He's going to get lancered down. I mean,
you know what this means, Colin?
That we're going to see another round go by with no power weapon?
No, it means Taylor Reflections Noble is one step away from claiming first place against all of us.
Like, there's a part of me that feels like he is watching this on a big screen, like it was
Popcorn
the Super Bowl. Like, my man is shaking with excitement right now, praying that this comes out. Retro out. Come on, Cellz. You've got an incendiary down low. Just place a power weapon down there. Stop trying to be too smart for your own good.
Ooh. This would definitely change things up. Torquebo up top. The fight will definitely change. They have to fight for it. It might be a 1v1 down low with the instance, though. That is definitely a possibility.
PR, can I make a bold prediction?
What's up, Cotton?
This round is 1 minute or less, and it's in favor of Elevate.
What you're telling me right now is Taylor Reflections Noble is taking first place. Round is definitely underway. Torquebo being fought for. Lots of utility being used off of this exchange. This is the first all-out war. We're getting off the initial. Demise does get first blood. They're going to find the second elimination on the Cellz. They're chasing it back, but a team kill from Vino. That can definitely turn the tides because it's now a 2v2 instead of a 3v1. Big shots from Yachty, but bigger shots from Vino to try to make up for it and saves the day and gets an elimination as well. Now it's all up to Pell. How long he can prolong this round. He's going down low. He realized that's going to be the next target for Elevate as they look to close this one out.
Well, at least I'm wrong. Thank God. I thought for sure we were about to see a full 4-man team wipe and then Elevate just kind of waltz over to the hills that are still up and get the quick pressures up. DeToX hits a very threaded needle right there with the Torquebo. Active bolt in hand. It would be a very short recharge to get a shot on anybody trying to pressure in. Cellz has to pull back. He has to worry about anybody pushing up onto him. He's going to get taken out wide. Nobody's in juice to help him. I don't know if he didn't get the call, if they didn't tell him, but this is oh God in heaven. It's going to go downhill and quickly, as you can see. They're not going to be waiting any longer. They're going to pressure Team Queso. The last remaining members alive for Team Queso are going to be pressured up by these 4 players from the side of Elevate.
Big shots from the backside. They're not even getting a moment to breathe right now. Multiple eliminations. Yachty goes down. Cellz, he's the last one left. That is game over, like you said, Colin. 5-2. They're closing out the series 2-1.
What a fantastic 7 rounds for Elevate. Even though they dropped 2 of them, they never really found themselves in a position not to win this one because they were in dominant map positions around the differentiating spaces of District. And you even see somebody from Team Queso had the unmitigated gall to quit early. Elevate, they win the series. They win map number 3, and they go 1-1 on their final day of Gears Pro League.
I can't guarantee it right now, Colin, but I just feel, when you have that feeling, I feel right now Reflections just stood up, spiked his popcorn deep into the ground, is doing some sort of in-zone dance right now because he is 1 up ahead of us right now in the predictions. I don't know what we got to do. We need Chat's help. We need Blaze. We need to take him down, folks.
Hey, look, this is going to be an amazing week for him. Like, I'm pretty sure he's going to go buy himself a trophy and engrave it. Pro League caster winner, Split 2. First day of Split 3, he's going to show up, and there it is.
He's going to get a Heisman replica. Heisman replica trophy.
He's going to be...
Dude, I even feel like almost, I know that's not him. I feel like I hear him in the background right now just screaming at the top of his lungs. That man, I feel like he was the coach. I feel like he is the owner of Team Elevate right here. But you saw it, the replays, back and forth battles. But it was Elevate overall. They stayed balanced. They stayed composed. And you kind of saw Team Queso in the very end kind of fall apart initial after initial. So you got to give it up to Elevate. Even though we were wrong, even though my predictions aren't holding up, I got to respect the game and how it's played.
I mean, like I said, this is a fantastic showcase. Elevate had to win this one. They had to go 1-1 on the day because going 0-2 was legitimately going to really hurt you going into that major. It was going to make nobody have any faith in you. Your vibes were probably going to be down and off. And we all know when your vibes are off, even Blaze turns on you. And when he does that, it's all over but crying for anybody that squares up in that major. So it's a good thing to see them get this win. I need to see Elevate play this with this same level of confidence against anybody else, because I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, because a lot of people love that kind of animosity, that kind of grittiness out of teams like Elevate. But when you win a matchup, or you're winning a matchup up against a team like Team Queso, and you have the confidence to start giving them the bag early, I mean, you start giving them the love taps in rounds 2 or 3, hands up. I'm happy for you. I'm so happy for you to be able to do that. Do it against Pittsburgh Knights. Do it against Elevate. Be man enough to have that same kind of sack when it comes to fighting those teams at the very top tier of the echelon. It's one of those things where people have always kind of used it against me, where people will talk trash to me, and I'm like, buddy, you're talking trash to the worst player on the planet. Congratulations, you're punching down at this point. How do you feel? How do you feel about that? Elevate in this situation, they end up beating Team K, so I believe they're still on top of them in the standings. They're punching down in this situation. Let me see them punch up come major time. I want to see those boys, DeToX, Vino, Tidy, and Demise. I need to see them go against the likes of E United, go against the likes of the Pittsburgh Knights, punch up at them, go against the Vanquish, punch up at them. I want to see the same confident Elevate in every other matchup that they find themselves in.
Yeah, and especially as soon as day one does roll around in that major, I need to see that you learn something from this match if you're Elevate, heck, if you're Team Queso as well. But Elevate, in this case, you come out with a victory. You got to build onto those momentum. Yeah, you kind of have a little bit of some downtime up until that major comes around, but you need to watch these back, figure out a way to build on this success, because your opponents, like Colin said, are just going to be that much harder when the time comes. So definitely keep you guys' nose in the book. Stay in the lab to prepare. Otherwise, you will regret it in the end.